Welcome back to my Inktober and my Imortal series. Today is Inktober, day 6, with the prompt drooling. I had a really hard time with this. At first I tried doing werewolf cookie, but even though I spend most of my time drawing animals, I hated it. I hated how it looked. And then I remembered about moon rabbit cookie, which is, they eat a lot of mochi, and I realized, I guess they drool over food or something. I don't know. It was one of the things that came to mind. And I still had a bit of a hard time with the hair, especially because it kept looking like Trump's hair. But anyways, today's chapter is 11. Author's note: I said stop flaming up, preps. See if this chapter is stupid. It deals with really serious issues. Especially for yourself if it's stupid. By the way, thanks to my friend Raven for helping me. No! I screamed. I was horrified. Bloody Mary tried to comfort me, but I told her to fuck off, and I ran to my room crying myself. Dumbledore chased after me, shouting, but he had to stop when I went in my room because he would look like a perv that way. Anyway, I started crying tears of blood, and then I slit both of my wrists. It got all over my clothes, so I took them off and jumped into the bath angrily while I put on a Linkin Park song at full volume. I grabbed a stake and almost stuck it into my heart to commit suicide. I was so fucking depressed. I got out of the bathtub and put on a black low-cut dress with lace all over it. Sadly, I put on black high heels with pink metal stuff on the ends and 6 pairs of skull earrings. I couldn't fucking believe it. Then I looked out the window and screamed. Snape was spying on me. He was taking a videotape of me, and Lupin was masturbating to it. They were sitting on their broomsticks. Ew, you pervs! Stop looking at me naked. Are you pedos or what? I screamed, putting on a black towel with a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. Suddenly, Vampire ran in. Abracadabra! Bear with me, please. He yelled at Snape and Lupin, pointing his wand. I took my gun and shot Snape and Lupin a gazillion times, and they both started screaming, and the camera broke. Suddenly, Dumbledore ran in. Ebony, it has been revealed that someone has— No! He shouted, looking at Snape and Lupin, and then he waved his wand, and suddenly, Hagrid ran outside on his broom and said, Everyone, we need to talk. What do you know, Hagrid? You're just a little Hogwarts student. I may be Hogwarts student, Hagrid paused angrily, but I'm also a Satanist. This cannot be, Snape said in a crisp voice as blood dripped from his hand where Dumbledore's wand had shot him. There must be other factors. You don't have any, I yelled in madly. Lupin held up the camera triumphantly. The lens may be ruined, but the tape is still there. I felt faint, more than I normally do, like how it feels when you don't drink enough blood. Why are you doing this? Lupin said angrily while he rubbed his dirty hands on his cloak, and then I heard the words I had heard before, but not from him. I did not know whether to feel shocked or happy, or to bite him and drink his blood because I felt faint. Because Hagrid said, and he paused in the air dramatically, waving his wand in the air, then swooped in, singing to the tune of a gothic version of a song by 50 Cent. Because you're gothic? Snape asked in a little afraid voice because he was afraid it meant he was connected to Satan. Because I love her! Chapter 12. Author's note: Stop flaming, okay? Hagrid is a pedo too. A lot of people in American schools are like that. I wanted to address the issue. How do you know Snape isn't Christian? Plus Hagrid isn't really in love with Ebony. That was Cedric, okay? I was about to slit my wrist again with the silver knife that Draco had given me in case anything happened to him. He had told me to use it valiantly against an enemy, but I knew that we must go together. No, I thought it was Hagrid, but it was Vampire, he started to scream. OMFG, no, my scar hurts. And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. I stopped. How did you know? I saw it, and my scar turned back into a lightning bolt. No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diablo changed it into a pentagram for me, and I always cover it up with foundation, he said back. Anyways, my scar hurt, and it turned back into a lightning bolt. Save me! Then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort had him bondage. Anyway, I was in the school nurse's office now, recovering from my slit wrists. Snape and Lupin and Hagrid were there too. They were going to St. Margot's after they recovered because they were pedophiles, and you can't have those pervs teaching in school with lots of hot girls. Dumbledore had constipated the video... Constipated? I promise you that is exactly how it's spelled. I'm trying to think. Took the video camera they took of me naked. I put up my middle finger at them. Anyway, Hagrid came into my hospital bed holding a bouquet of pink roses. Ebony, I need to tell you something, he said in a very serious voice, giving me the roses. Fuck off, I told him. You know, I fucking hate the color pink anyway, and I don't like fucked up preps like you, I snapped. Hagrid had been mean to me before for being gothic. No, Ebony, Hagrid says, those are not roses. What are they? Goths too, you poser prep? I asked, because I was angry that he had brought me pink roses. I saved your life, he yelled angrily. No, you didn't, I replied. You saved me from getting the Paris Hilton video from your shower scene, being viewed by Snape and Lupin, who masturbated to it, and he silently. Whatever, I yelled angrily. He pointed his wand at the pink roses. These aren't roses. He suddenly looked at them with an evil look in his eye and muttered, well, if you wanted honesty, that's all he had to say. That's not a spell. That's an MCR song. I corrected him wisely. I know, I was just warming up my vocal cords. Then he screamed, Pedulous Marengo me Currently Romansco. There. That is a tribute, especially for Raven. I love you, girl. I am Monoto Okeo. And then the roses turned into a huge black flame floating in the middle of the air, and it was black. Now I knew he wasn't a prep. Okay, believe you. Now what the fuck is Draco? Hagrid rolled his eyes. I looked into the balls of flame, but I could see nothing. You see, Ebony? Dumbledore said, watching the two of us watching the flame. To see what's in the flames, you must find yourself first, okay? I have found myself, okay, you mean old man, Hagrid yelled. Dumbledore looked shocked. I guess he didn't have a headache or else he would have said something back. Hagrid stormed off back into bed. You're a liar, Professor Dumbledore. Anyway, when I got better, I went upstairs and put on black leather mini dress that was all ripped on the ends with lace on it. There was some corset stuff on the front, and I put on black fishnets and black high-heeled boots with pictures of Billy Joe Armstrong on them. Put my hair all out around me so I looked like Samara from The Ring. And I put on blood red lipstick, black eyeliner, and black lip gloss. You look kawaii, girl, Bloody Mary said sadly. Thanks. Me too. I said sadly, too, but I was so upset. I slit both of my wrists feeling totally depressed, and I sucked all the blood. I cried again in my bathroom, and I put the shades on so Snape and Lupin couldn't spy on me this time. I went to some classes. Vampire was in the hair of magical creatures. He looked all depressed because Draco had disappeared, and he had used to be in love with Draco. He was sucking some blood from a Hufflepuff. Hi, I said in a depressed way. Hi back, I said in a equally sad way. We both looked at each other for some time. Harry had beautiful red gothic eyes, so much like Draco's. Then we jumped on each other and started screwing each other. Stop it now, you horny simpletons, shouted Professor McGonagall, who was watching us, and so was everyone else. Vampire, you fucker, I said, slapping him. Stop trying to screw me. You know I love Draco, I shouted, and then I ran away angrily. Just then, he started screaming, OMFG, no, my scar hurts! And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diablo changed it into a pentagram for me, and I always covered it up with foundation, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt, and then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him bondage. Special thanks to Raven, my gothic blood sister. WTF, you're supposed to write this. Hey Raven, do you know where my sweater is? I'm so sorry for the mistakes on me reading. It's very hard to read because there's so many it's so badly written. And I know it was supposed to be badly written on purpose. But, it slowly gets harder. Also, there are some sections that do repeat in the story, and I promise you that's just how it's written. They just repeat for some reason. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. listening to me read and watching the speed art behind it. This video was twice as long as the usual ones, but chapter 12 was just so much longer than usual. So anyways, bye!